Dear ladies and gentlemen, participants, dear host from the Nest Coworking and Climate Kick. It's a great pleasure to be here today with you in the second edition of the Climathon Podgorica and witness the great encouragement behind the force that you provide to drive the climate action in Montenegro. The cities and towns of today are undergoing the rapid transformation in the way they function, the way the people and goods are moved around, and the way the services are designed and provided to drive this change. Indeed, to some extent, this change is driven by the opportunities provided by the new technologies. But more and more, the primary driver of the change is the desire to make the cities and towns more livable for all citizens. To be able to rise to the challenges of the rapid urbanization, which often unfortunately goes hand in hand with environmental degradation, we need a new generation of diverse professionals and so-called unusual suspects who, if come together, can create the solutions and can accelerate the change and the transformation that will result in the urban spaces using less resources to meet the increasing needs of the societies. This year, the Climathon comes in the aftermath of the UN Climate Change Conference, which so-called COP26, which took place in Glasgow. The global picture after COP26 remains an imperfect one. On the one hand, progress indeed has been made in the areas from sustainable forest management and also reaching the pact on phasing out coal, as well as agreeing on the global goals for climate change adaptation and prioritizing youth and gender-responsive action in driving the responses to climate change. On the other hand, unfortunately, the world is still far from meeting the ambitious targets set by the Paris Climate Agreement. Limiting global warming will depend on rapid and sustained reductions in the greenhouse gas emissions from human activities such as burning fossil fuels, including in the transport sector. In the coming decades, the transport sector will be challenged in the ways that cannot be always anticipated. That's why I'm very pleased that the transport is the topic of this year's Climathon, as it is the sector that records constant growth in the GHG emissions, both in Montenegro and globally. Without an increasing pressure to reduce its carbon footprint, we will not be able to address the climate change. The transition to low-emission vehicles is finally taking place, and some of the leading car manufacturers are working together to make all new car sales electric ones by 2040. The countries are following suit, and I'm very pleased that here in Montenegro, UNDP has been able to support the installation of the network of the electric charging stations, which currently covers Montenegro with the 28 stations. But we are very much aware that this is not enough, and that the change in the urban settings and in the transportation will not be able and has to go hand in hand with rethinking and redesigning the urban transportation systems so that they are built for people and not cars. The value of Climathon in Podgorica is its dynamic dialogue and the solutions created through a diverse set of experiences and perspectives. They say that every big adventure starts small, and I look forward to inspiring ideas from the teams who have both the skill set and the mindset to address the urban mobility challenges cities and towns are increasingly facing. This year's Climathon topic is inviting us all to turn green. So let's drive away from pollutants, let's make public transport work for people, and let's reimagine our cities and towns, making them more attractive and healthier to live and work. Thank you.